we're now going to look at shape animation. Under Animate Shape, this is where we'll do most of the keyframing, as well as setting our preferences. Saving shapes, storing them as clips, or selecting reference shapes can be done here, so together with specifying our preferences, as well as linking deformation or shapes to rotations or chains, that sort of thing. The preferences are found under Shape Animation, and this is really for scripting, so as we change this we can specify and make our tool changes through scripting as well. So here I'm in standard transition or instance only. This is also updating directly inside here. The default is mixed weight mode with object relative shape reference mode with relational shape keys on. This is important to understand because this is probably the fastest way to work, is the default method. So we'll start with this mode and look at options later on. With my object selected, when I do Save Shape key, automatically a few things occur. The first is a shape is stored as a clip inside a compound. So here is my compound, inside of which is my shape clip. It automatically will expand to match the timeline. If I go to another frame, make a change, Save Shape key, inside here it's added another clip and then automatically keyframed the transition. So this is mixing the weights. Also what's happened is a cluster shape combiner is created inside the construction history, inside the construction modes. We'll come back to that a little later on. Most importantly is the clusters themselves. As an object, it creates a cluster based on all of the points of the object, as you can see here. Whenever we save a shape key, it actually saves one directly inside. So if I were to go to another frame, make another change, save another shape, there we go, shape key 2 has been updated. And if I call this spiky or something, there we go, it's renamed that. And inside the compound it's added another clip, keyframe the other weights to 0 and keyframe that to 1. All of these can also be found inside the mixer. So inside the sources shapes, if you notice, they're exactly the same name. So it's two ways to access the actual clips themselves, which can be put on the timeline. And I can do that by inserting the source just as I would with animation. I can drag and drop clips onto the timeline just as I would with animation as well. And I can also apply a shape key. So rather than selecting a source clip, I can select one of these and simply apply it. If I look inside the mixer when I do this, you'll notice what happens. I'll go back to, say, the original shape. Shape, apply shape key. So there we go. What it's doing is, rather than adding another source into the mixer, it's actually just re-keyframing back this shape at this frame, and then keyframe the others back up to 0. A very convenient way to be able to do extra keyframing simply by specifying it from a list of shapes inside here. We'll touch more on that workflow a little later on. The final thing to notice is a custom property set, and this is the shape weights. Anytime with the object selected, I can go shape, edit shape weights. It's just popping open that P set. And this is just a reflection, as you can see here, of the sliders which are inside the mixer. So as I change these, you notice all of these update like so. So while you're doing your standard keyframing, all it's doing is keyframing these weights It's also a proxy parameter bset here. So you can either set these up by keyframing, or what we can also do is perhaps remove all the animation, like so, maybe even rename them by going to parameter, edit parameter definition, and I'll call this, say, base. So there we go. I've now got my base shapes inside here. So if I move this back to 1, there we go. Oh, there we go. So this is a way in which I can then specify all of my individual shapes and just control them using sliders. This way I don't even have to go inside the animation mixer. But the beauty of using the mixer would be that I can actually turn all of these off by turning off the compound.